a huge news in Anthony Richardson. Being tired. Hey guys. I'm just gonna take a break. You guys host the show for me. I'm too
Okay.
tired.
Yeah.
Yep, gotcha.
Good.
Yeah, buddy, we back again. Cinco Squad is in the house with all the sports. My name is Jonathan Sawyer. With me and my brothers, of course, Trey Day, Grandpa Jay, and Mike A. Fellas, happy Thursday, happy Halloween. It is Halloween time. Scariest time of the year is right around now. So happy Halloween to everyone. Hopefully everyone has a great Halloween and gets all the candy that they want in the world. But
we outside. We outside. We outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations to Mr. Trey Day's LA Dodgers for their win. Way to join the Yankees in paying players to get your World Series title. Congratulations.
That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do.
Congratulations. You have the highest payroll.
I am a Dodgers booster, by the way. I am a booster of the Dodgers.
So
I
the Dodgers defeated
.0000000.1% of Otani's contract I contributed to.
I do want to point out that Trey did say Dodgers in 5.
No, I said Dodgers in 7.
Oh, I thought you said 5. Okay.
No, John said Yankees.
Well, the Dodgers have defeated the New York Yankees in 5 games. The Yankees have shot themselves in the foot the entire series. They had game 1, blew it. They won game 4, and they had this game and ended up blowing it. And unfortunately, the Dodgers made minimal mistakes to the Yankees, terrible mistakes and mental errors, which need to be looked at, right? And congratulations to Trey Day. This is one of probably many to come with that Dodgers lineup, with their re-signing, with the way they've restructured every contract and restructured deals. I can't see anybody really contending with the Dodgers here over the next maybe 5 to 7 years. The Yankees, unfortunately, this will probably be it for a little bit now because a lot of guys will be leaving. Schmidt is gone. Rizzo's gone. Soto's gone. Most of the bullpen's gone. And, realistically, we got Judge, Stanton, and the Volpinator coming back. So, unfortunately, the Yankees are probably in a rebuild stage right now. Hopefully not. I'm hoping I'm eating those words here next year, but congratulations, Trey Day, on that victory. Mike, don't look so sour.
Can't blame it on COVID. Can't blame it on the COVID year.
I think this is the appropriate time where this is the first time this happens in the show. So excuse me for 1 second. Excuse me. When you see a man down and out like this and he needs a hug, you just have to make sure that you give him a hug because, it's this tough times right here. It's okay, Mikey.
Thanks,
it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, Mikey.
Where'd Trey go?
I think he's coming to hug you.
I don't need to be hugged. I knew they were going to. I mean, it just, they disappointed me. I'm hoping that this embarrassment,
Yeah, we got to. We got.
I'm hoping this is, and I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, the person that needs to be looked at the most is the guy leading the charge, and I don't care what anyone says. He needs to be let go at the end of the season. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Brian Cashman needs to be let go at the end of the season because this is a crutch, and this is what we call a crutch in sports, people. The Yankees have a crutch, which is our manager and the GM, and the GM and the manager should be let go. Mental mistakes. 3 errors in 1 inning that blew the lead wide open and tied the game. So, Trey Day, I'm going to shut up and let you talk. What are you feeling right now?
Well, we didn't really get to celebrate because of COVID the last time. And that was the first time I ever got to see the Dodgers win in my life because, unfortunately, I was born a couple years after the late 80s championship. So, to actually be able to enjoy this, the Otani thing worked out. Even if it doesn't work out, they don't win multiple, you got to get at least a championship at some point. So, that was enjoyable. I've enjoyed the entire Mookie Betts experience. So, watching him get another one, and as for my favorite player in baseball last year, it's been great. To watch them actually go out there, And Dave Roberts played with balls tonight. When they got the lead, he didn't just say, fuck, I'm going to mail it in. You know what he did? He put fucking Walker Buehler in the game, and he closed it out. He said, you know what? I'm not worried about saving Walker's arm. I'm going to end this shit right now. That was the right move. Dave Roberts of a few years ago would not have done that. We probably would have blew this shit on the mound, and, hey, it just would have been what it was. But to be able to actually do this and finish, it's great. And I'm glad for these players, especially the guys who were there last time who didn't get to have a championship parade. Now they'll actually get the championship parade and get to celebrate that way they didn't get to the last time because they unfortunately were, locked in a house and with 8 people at the stadium when they won the championship. So this is huge. And shout out to, everybody in LA and all my other fans.
Hold on 1 second. Did you just shout out Shohei Ohtani, who went 2 for 14 or 2 for 20 in this series?
Yeah, because you wouldn't be here without him.
You have to shout out the the World Series.
Oh, no, of course we shout out
Frederick Freeman of the Atlanta Braves won you that championship.
Yeah. No, of course you shout out Freddie. It is not that, but it's a whole season. Because Shohei is the NL MVP, so there's a whole season. You don't get here without that. I mean, Freddie, shout out to him for the guts. He played on that fucking ankle. I mean, there was a couple plays where he just toughed it out. He could barely get the base, and he just toughed it out. But, seeing some of these guys like Muncy and some of these other guys who've been there for a long time, being able to go out there and actually, unfortunately for people like Kershaw, you don't get to celebrate in that type of way, but hey, it is what it is. So, Dave Roberts, maybe fine redeemed yourself. Now, we still don't forgive you for a couple of those championships we should have got, but we take our wins. We can take our wins, and maybe they'll get back to back. Maybe they won't, but we have to enjoy this time while we can.
And you'll have Ohtani pitching next year, which will be great.
Which will be crazy. The fact that they actually are adding a top pitcher to the staff, literally by just taking
have 7 pitchers
you cannot pitch. Which is fucking nuts.
Like
you wouldn't even have to pitch Ohtani all the time because you
have That's exactly what they were
actually rest the shit out of him.
That's what John Smoltz was saying in the broadcast on Game 3. He was like, this rotation, Ohtani can really have a 7-day off. 7-day rest.
Yeah, you don't have to pitch him the way the Angels are trying to actually run him out there for you.
What you got, neutral fan?
Well, first and foremost, I apologize for the following take with all the F words you're about to hear. Freddie freaking Freeman was on flipping fire for this entire series. And boy, was that man ready for the moment. As a neutral fan, to see somebody dial in that much and give his team something, not only when they needed it, but at the most opportune time at the beginning of Game 3, when the fans were ready to just tear the Dodgers apart and bring this back to New York and swing the series. This man delivered in the best way possible, quieted the crowd, had the Dodgers take control of that game from early. And I saw it on Mikey's face, and we were talking, and he said, I can't believe this team has no fight. It was hard watching Game 3 as a neutral fan with a huge Yankees fan over there across the room from me. But it was hard just watching a team that really turned around a little bit of a midseason slump where I know you guys were questioning it. Really fought to get back to this point, and almost as if like Freddie Freeman was the kryptonite. It's like, well, shit, we gave up a 2-run home run and we can't stop this guy, and like hanging your head low. And I was hoping to see the fight. Shit, we put our rally caps on, and I was with Mikey. I'm like, I want to see more baseball. I know I'm not a fan, but I want to see a Game 6. At least I want to see this thing go back to LA. Let's not end this thing in New York. And Freddie freaking Freeman, man.
Well, I mean, it's clear as day, right? The mental errors, right? You have a guy that you paid all this money, that you went after, you went to his house, found him, and you pay him this money, you start him in the rotation, and he has never saw 1 ounce of pitching. And then what do? You bring in a guy who hasn't pitched in a month to face and I don't know why people are so shocked by Freddie Freeman. I don't understand it. The guy is almost a career 330 hitter. He hit in the last 4 years a whopping 370 or around that range in the last 5 years. That's incredible. Like, do people not realize that he can hit? Like, I don't understand why everyone's like, oh, this Freddie Freeman guy. This Freddie Freeman guy is the best hitter in baseball.
Bro, in all but one hitting stat, he's top 2 in the last 4 years. In all but one stat,
he's the best hitter in baseball. He's better than his teammate Shohei because you know why? He gets on base and he plays the field. He's better than Judge. And I'm saying that. And I'm wearing the 99 right now. I'm wearing a 99. 99, you didn't show up. You didn't show up. And you showed up in game 5, but it's too late. You made a critical error, and I know he's going to own it. And I know that drop ball that started that rally for the Dodgers is going to haunt him for the entire offseason. Because if you look at it, he's going to catch it, and he's looking at Kiki Hernandez. He's not even watching the ball into the glove. So that is a mental error that you never see happen. Rizzo making lazy plays at first. Volpe making plays. Boone making terrible pitching decisions in the 9th inning against one of the best hitters in the game. You throw out Nestor Cortez, who has struggled month after month in this season. So, yeah, I am very, very annoyed by the entire Yankee organization, the entire everything. Like it's just frustrating to watch because, like I tell everyone, I watch baseball more than I watch football. I watch over 140 games every single year, and every single year it's just heartbreak because they don't want to spend the money. And I'm sorry, Yankee fans, but we're not getting Juan Soto. So stop that dreaming. We're not getting him. He will be a Dodger or he will be a New York Met, and that's just that. And everyone needs to understand because Sal Steinbrenner has already come out and said that he is not going to have over a $300 million payroll because he's Mr. Steinbrenner. Well, unfortunately, this was a one and done, and he will not be. And Trey, go get you a Juan Soto Dodger Blue Jay.
He will look good, and the good thing is Ohtani deferred that money, so the money is available because Ohtani deferred that money.
And the Dodgers ownership is not afraid. And guess who's on the Dodgers ownership? Is Magic Johnson.
Mookie, Soto, Freddie. Oh my God!
When you have Freddie Freeman as your fifth hitter, that's how you know you have a dangerous lineup. Mike, wipe that sourpuss off your face. Come on now.
Get it together, Grouch. Get a shot.
Fucking disappointing. And no, he's not going to be a Dodger. He's going to be
Mike.
He's a Met. I know.
He's not going to be a Dodger. He's going to be a Met.
Nope, he's going to be LA Dodger. That's why I have my feeling.
He doesn't like the way. I'm just going off of what I've been reading about his free agency from Jeff Passan. Passan says that it's most likely he doesn't want to go back to the West Coast. And Steve Cohen will not be outbid. I firmly believe that he will not be outbid by anybody because they have $196 million coming off the payroll.
Yeah, but Dodgers don't have pretty much a similar amount, and it's going to be a 14-year deal, like I told you. It's going to be 750 over 14.
Right, which I think the Mets are going to give him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be wearing Dodger blue. The Dodgers are more chance to win. He wants to
Doesn't matter. He's not going to be in pinstripes, so who gives a fuck?
That's that.
All right, well, that would do it with our World Series talk.
You know, sometimes it just seems like the basketball gods just aren't fair. In this case, it would be with the career of Lonzo Ball. I mean, after everything he went through, all the publicized things with his dad and his family, and going to the Lakers like it was apparently designed to do, and then he spends 2 seasons there, and that doesn't work out, so he goes to New Orleans, and he spends 2 seasons there, and that doesn't work out, and he has some injuries he deals with, and then he goes to Chicago, and finally maybe seems to have a spot that he fits in, and then he gets hurt, and he misses 2 complete seasons with knee issues, getting multiple knee surgeries. And finally, Lonzo Ball comes back, and he's contributing for the Bulls, and he's starting to get back to playing the way everybody thought he could and the way he looked like he could with the Lakers and Pelicans. And now he's hurt again. He sprained his wrist. He's going to be out at least 10 days from the time of the injury, and now they're questioning, continues to be questions about his health. And it just seems like after all the dues this guy's paid and how he's stuck in the league and how he's worked to come back, that at some point the basketball gods should just smile on him, shine a little light, and let this dude play, honestly. So, Lonzo Ball, I'm feeling for you, bro, because this is not fair to you.
Men's basketball. We had a tough loss for USF men's basketball this past week. And Coach Abdur-Rahim passed away unexpectedly with complications in surgery. And that's pretty tough. It hit all 4 of us because of the relationship we were able to build. I was able to kind of know him over 4 or 5 games I've covered, and it was just a very tough gut wrench, I should say. So our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. Condolences go out to him and the USF family. Cinco Squad is here for you and with you this entire way, because this will be a tough season for a lot of the players. And he was a great man. So our thoughts and prayers. And then, of course, Charvarius Ward lost a newborn this past week. And, not trying to start the show off as a somber moment, but just want to be grateful for what we have and when we have it. And, to all your loved ones, make sure you guys go out there and say I love you. Call the person you haven't talked to in a long time and just enjoy their presence for who they are. So we're going to continue to enjoy this presence today. So we got a great show ahead of us. Anybody want to say anything?
Yeah, just obviously 2 major losses that you really can't truly understand, I think, unless you're involved in it. But it's been nice to see both communities behind these guys, behind these teams, and the families, to being a real family beyond, just their immediate family, showing that sports is good and it can bring people together, and then it can become more than sports. And these are 2 things that are very much more than sports, but it's nice to see the outpouring of love and support that USF and the USF community and Coach Abdur-Rahim's family has seen, and then the Ward family has gotten the same from the whole football world, the whole sports world. So yeah, I just think that's been a really positive thing you can take away from it, is just show the love.
So we're going to show the love here tonight and continue to do what we love every single week, and that's talk sports as a family that we are right here. We are Cinco Squad. So let's get it rolling, guys. We got a great show ahead of us. It starts off with a little bit of a funny moment. Mr. Dwyane Wade was inaugurated into the Statue Hall of Fame as probably one of the worst statues in sports. So it was definitely eye-opening when you look at it. So brings up a great topic for us is, what's the worst sports statue that you've ever seen? Trey?
Oh, that Ronaldo statue. It looks like a 5-year-old, like a sketch that a 5-year-old would draw. Like, I've seen children probably draw better sketches than that. I don't get how, you look back and we got the pyramids, and you got like you got the Eiffel Tower, you have the Statue of Liberty. We have these great sculptures, and it's like we've somehow gotten worse at doing this, because now we're constantly getting these terrible statues. But Ronaldo being one of the greatest players ever, I mean, I don't know if a 5-year-old did it. It kind of looks like Ivan Drago a little bit from Rocky IV. It looked like his face is like falling apart. Like, almost looked like his face is literally going to slide off of the statue. Like, I don't get what they were doing with that. And if I was Ronaldo, I probably would have fucking like burned that statue my damn self. And shout out to Lawrence Fishburne, great actor. It was a nice statue that the Miami Heat put outside that arena. Lawrence, that wasn't Lawrence Fishburne. You're telling me, John?
I guess he wear no more number 3 in high school, right? So.
Oh, I thought that was Lawrence Fishburne in the Matrix.
Apparently it was. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that was bad. I mean, the Cristiano Ronaldo was my top one. But Grandpa Jay, I want to hear who yours is.
Side note, they have actually corrected the Cristiano Ronaldo statue and tried to make it right, so it doesn't look like a goofy 5-year-old scribble anymore. All right, so I'm thinking this. I did a little research, and I'm like, there has to be something out there that is more perplexed, that kind of makes me think, like, what in the hell were they thinking? In Chicago, they built a statue, Harry Carey. And here's the thing, right? The sculptor did a fantastic job. Okay, I mean, the Chicago Cubs old school windbreaker. I mean, that looks textured. The face looks awesome. But what in the hell did they do around his body? It looks like demons are trying to pull him back down to the suffocating pool of death where Cubs fans resided for over a century. It's like you might as well put John Constantine and Keanu Reeves up there and relive freaking Constantine, because like you're trying to suck him back down to hell. It's like, no, Harry, you can't leave us. You are our voice for a century. You need to get your ass back down in hell. I'm like, why just not sit as like give him legs? Like, why does he have 19 demons surrounding him trying to pull him back down? So the concept just makes me feel like it's the worst concept for a statue, but the artwork was pretty good.
Yeah, I was looking up at that one because I looked up worst statues and I was like, damn. what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Is he in a pool? Like, is he getting out of like a water or something? Like, was there a flood at the Cubs game or something coming out of the dugout? I gotta say, my worst sports statue has to be, and it ain't even looks. It's the entire row of the 76ers. I mean, the statues are supposed to be big and in larger than life, and you're supposed to make it larger than life. And you gave each of the statues outside your practice facility figurines. You said, "Here you go, here you go, here you go, AI. You can look your statue right in the eye." Like, I just didn't understand that. I think that's the worst because when you think of like LA, when you go to LA, I've never been there, but Trey has, and he sees those statues. They're larger than life. You can't miss them, right? If you miss them, you're blind, right? And it's just terrible to see that is your representation of all the greats that have come through. Because if I'm looking correctly down the line on that row, all of them are pretty much the same size. There's not anyone that's like out big, I guess you could say, each other. But when you look at like Charles Barkley, I think Charles Barkley's out there. He's just pretty small, but obviously he's taller than AI. I just think that's the worst thing, like, because you're honoring these guys, and like you take it off, and it's like, where is it? Where's the statue? I just see a figurine there. So that's the worst statue in my mind, because I didn't know they did that, and unfortunately, I hope they correct those. Mike?
Well, I got to imagine they will correct them. Yeah, I was kind of on board with the whole Cristiano Ronaldo thing, the original bust, because the way I described it to myself, I was like, wow, that looks like what Cristiano Ronaldo would turn into if he turned into a monster in a horror movie. Like if he like transformed into like that's mid-werewolf transformation of Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm glad they fixed it. The other one that stood out to me, because I also did research and looked up worst statues, the Andy Murray statue.
Oh yeah.
He does
gained
now. Andy, he has a square head. He is a Lego figure in that statue, and I tried to. Believe me, I stared at it. I stared at the image of it on Google, trying to make out where they may have gotten some of Andy Murray right, and there's just nothing there.
I'm just trying to figure out why they put him in a Knights Templar chest guard.
Well, because I guess he's British, but at the same time, it's like I never saw him play tennis in a suit of armor.
Yeah.
Isn't Andy Murray American?
No, he's British.
No, Andy Roddick is American. Andy Murray's British.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I saw that one too, and I was like, what the fuck why is his head like that? Like, it's like,
right, it's like a perfect square.
But they didn't finish it. Though I guess the worst thing about the Dwyane Wade statue is I'm doing a little bit more research on it, and the fact is that he had final say in everything. Like, all the designs from step 1 to step final was him, and he said, I didn't want it to look like me. I'm like, Dwyane, you're missing the entire point. Like, that's the whole point of the statue is to look like you. If you didn't have the jersey on, I said this in my rant earlier this week. If you put that out there in the middle of like Central Park and without a jersey on, just a regular shirt, you would never guess who it is. Never.
People think that person was in love with the Matrix.
Or it's like a Halloween decoration. Yeah. It's like a Halloween decoration. But why that one? Like, I don't understand that one for Dwyane Wade. I get this is my house is an iconic moment, but so is him jumping on the scoreboard too when he hit the game winning shot.
Mm-hmm.
I know that wasn't like a playoff moment, but it still was a great moment in Heat history where you see him go up on the scoreboard and he's like a larger than life figure on the scoreboard, and that would have been a real cool one. I think Kobe had a moment like that, right?
Mm-hmm. When he jumped on.
I'd say it's where he's yeah.
Oh, and he's also the one fast to Nike.
Isn't that a statue too, or no?
No, didn't they dedicate something to him and Gigi? Wasn't that?
The second statue was that, but they're having another statue. But he's getting 3 statues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I just don't understand what his mindset, but to hear that he had the whole say through the entire time, and
that's why
they had the designer in the background, and the guy, I read the comments, and one of the guys was like, the designer in the background's like, damn, that looks nothing like you. Like, his face like.
Thanks for the easiest job in the world, because I thought I was going to have to go back.
I thought I was going to do this over. But, yeah, so, I mean,
sure.
the statues. What's that?
The guy's like, you sure, Dwyane? I get paid by the hour. Ah, no, it's great.
I can fix it. It hasn't set yet. I can fix it.
Well, as we move on from statues to the NFL, NFL is kind of heating up right now. We got a lot of teams. Looks like the Lions are just running away with everything. It just doesn't look like anybody's going to stop them right now. They're a well-oiled machine because Jared Goff had 85 yards and they won 52 to 13.
Yep.
Montgomery had more passing yards than he did. That's how bad that game was. So,
as a former athlete and coach, I can completely understand why people are jumping all over Anthony Richardson for calling his own number to sit out a pretty damn important play in the game when it was 3rd and goal in a 2-score game. But as a human being, I don't get why so many sports pundits and former athletes say they would rather AR have lied about why he asked to sit out the play while questioning his integrity as a leader. Can you guys follow me on how fucking stupid that sounds? Sometimes I really wonder if people actually think about what they say before they run their damn mouth. The guy was tired. Yes, he should be tougher than that, but I applaud him for not making up some bullshit and just being straight up about being exhausted after scrambling for about 25 seconds to try and make a play with his feet. I get that he got benched, but let's give the man some kind of credit for being honest while possibly knowing the consequences of his actions. Because everybody would have said, well, maybe he just made up a fib, but at least he didn't tell us the truth if he was exhausted and then put it on the bed. But now, because he actually came out with the truth, we're going to jump all over this young man for doing the right thing as a leader. And he knew the consequences, and he still went ahead and said, you know what? I was tired. Every athlete gets tired. Everybody gets exhausted. He's still a young kid, and he still has a lot to learn. But I tell you what, AR, I applaud you for your honesty. And fuck everybody else for coming out with this shit about, oh, you should have just lied and just made up some kind of fib, because that would have at least calmed our whatever feelings we have about whether he's really a leader or not. You know what? Leaders step up, they have integrity, and they tell the truth when it is the hardest time to tell the truth.
You know, and we had a huge news in Anthony Richardson, you know, being tired, you know. Hey guys, you know, I'm just gonna take a break. You guys host the show for me. I'm too
okay. Yeah.
Yep. Gotcha.
Thanks for your honesty.
No problem.
Yep.
So how do you regain a lost locker room like that? Like, do you think he, number one, lost the locker room? And when you do lose the locker room, how do you regain it? Grandpa Jay?
I feel this is on the onus of the coaching staff having to go in there and really have the guys find someone to rally around. So 2 ways to do it. One is that you have to make it fun and change the whole vibe of the locker room. The other one is to change the language in the locker room and really start to harp on the fact that there has to be a lot of positive self-talk, which scientifically has proven leads to better performances. You know, they've done some studies have said what separates the best player in the world in tennis from number 5, who is right there with number 1. And it all has to do with the language during the game, while at practice, etc. So as a coach, you have to go in right away, set a new tone, and say, look, this is what we are going to do moving forward. And I feel like you have to have a little fun with the players, right? Create a reward system. Have them enjoy the small wins. You know what I mean? Like a cowboy hat or a mask, or we see Miami with the turnover chain or a championship belt, or like bring something to the sidelines to get these guys excited about making plays during the game. So the brotherhood starts to come together where they're celebrating each other and celebrating their wins on the field, because we all know the locker room's healthy when things are going good on the field.
Mike?
Yeah, so I think as a coach, that's definitely what you can do. In the case of a player like Anthony Richardson, where I would imagine, yeah, he's probably lost at least some of the locker room with that kind of a thing. I think it all starts with accountability. You have to show that you understand the mistake you made and be accountable to it, and be mature enough to admit that you made a mistake and, you know, do better for your team, do better for your brothers, do better for everybody in the locker room, and be honest, because he was honest about why he did it. And so you need to continue to hold on to that honesty and not be defensive, not try to make it a problem of anybody but me type of thing, because I think that's how you isolate yourself further from your team. So yeah, I think accountability is just a big thing when it comes down to that sort of a thing, and being able to look your teammates in the eye when you make a mistake.
I don't know. I mean, I think you just got to go out there and play, perform, get out there and prove it on the field. Like, we play a sport. At the end of the day, yes, the locker room is a huge part of that, right? Some of the best memories is traveling with the guys at practices, locker room talk, those type of things is huge, right? I think some of the biggest opportunities that are lost is when like you're not playing well and like you're just going to continue to lose that locker room. So for a guy like AR, he needs to go out there and just perform and just go do what he's got to do. Yes, accountability is big, but I think also performance is big too. If you're playing well, you're going to have such a great, feel around you, right? Everyone's feeling great. Everyone's hyped. Everyone's doing well. But if you're playing like shit and you're continuing to walk around the locker room like you're Mr. Big Shot, of course, no. As far as a coach, it's very difficult. Nowadays, I think it's very difficult for you to regain the locker room. I don't think there really is a way for you to regain the locker room once you lose it. Because if you're, let's say, Brian Kelly, who calls your players out in the media, you can't get that back. And with all the social medias out there, you can't pull that back because you know what? That's clipped and it's everywhere, all over the place. If I come on here and say, Jamie, you're a slacker. You never make any good takes, blah 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 blah, and then go post it somewhere. It's everywhere, right? That's the example that you have to have. So it's very teeter-tottery with a coach. Like Nick Sirianni's doing a great job in keeping that locker room in Philadelphia cohesive. Everyone in the media is saying that he lost the locker room, but all the players are saying that he kept it. So I think there's a lot of like differential, like false media. So as a coach, you need to kind of have that. It's very difficult. I'm sorry, it's very difficult for you to regain nowadays. I don't know if there really is, because usually by the time you try to, you're still getting paid $20 million, but your ass is on the couch. So
I heard a lot of the credit is going to Nick Sirianni's barber because ever since that makeover, it seems like things just turned around.
They pulled what Mike happened at the barbershop. They got number 4.
It'll grow back, maybe.
Mike. Mike walks into the barbershop, says, "Hey, can I get a number 4?" And I turn around in my seat, and bro, I'm dying in the chair, and he knows it. He's looking at me like, fuck. What did I just do?
There was no going back because it started in the middle, so like it was nothing. Nothing I could do.
I'm not making.
It wasn't like you could fade. It wasn't like you faded up. It was like, nope. Okay, well, I'm getting a buzz cut today. That's cool.
You could have just left this reverse mohawk.
Trey, what would Mike Tomlin do? Trey, what would Mike Tomlin do?
Well, I mean, it's about accountability. As my coach Mike Tomlin would say, the standard is the standard. I always hear him say that, and it's true. But the thing about this is, ultimately, if you're a coach, you start to lose the locker room, don't be scared to bench people. You're probably going to lose the team anyways. So if you got to go bench somebody, by all means, bench them. Because if you go out here and you play people that aren't performing, you're going to lose your job. So if you got a guy and you think, hey, this guy on the bench is better, sometimes you may have to look and say, I don't give a damn if this guy makes $30 million. Right. He fucking sucks. Deshaun Watson, I'm talking to you. Then I may have to put you on the bench at this point. And that's the way you regain the locker room, is by actually making sure everybody has the same has the same amount of accountability. With that being said, John,
howdy,
Jameis or Darnold, who you got?
Dog, that's so tough. I mean, Jameis, I love hearing this. I mean, that's so damn tough. I gotta go with my redheaded brother and Sam Darnold. What do they call him? The Red Rifle? Not the Red Rock.
No, that's Andy Dalton.
That's Dalton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
redheaded stepchild.
My redheaded brother, Sam Darnold. He's got them boys. I mean, he earned the trust of that locker room. And I listened to his, I think on Fox, he earned the trust of that locker room immediately. He understood going in that they were gonna draft a quarterback. He understood that, hey, I might not be playing, but he went in there with that mentality. I mean, when you have your best player on the team going to bat for you as soon as JJ gets hurt and is out for the season, that's huge. I mean, that buys the locker room attention. So I got to go Sam Darnold right now, just because Jameis hasn't played enough, right? I think Jameis is a great motivational speaker, but will his play move on from the Ravens, right? Like, he had a great game, but we've all seen one great game does it transpire to the next one and the next one, right? So Sam Darnold, I think right now.
Jameis.
Yeah.
It's Jameis.
Yeah. Oh.
It's my guy, Jameis. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's my guy, Jameis. I've been caping for Jameis for years here because at the end of the day, yeah, it's the crazy highs are high and the lows are low. But when that guy gets to his hottest point, it's a greater high than it will be for Sam Darnold. And at the same time, Jameis is truly, that is a leader of men. When you get in that locker room, you are ready to run through a wall for Jameis. You're willing to say, you know what? I know we may have a sorry team, Cleveland Browns, but we're going to figure this out because I believe in us. I believe in the team. Even when Deshaun Watson was starting, it still felt like Jameis was the leader. I hear him more than Stefanski. I hear him more than Watson. That guy, he just inspires people. I mean, Jameis is probably going to own a mega church in the future. Like, I can see that guy just, no, I'm serious.
Yeah, no, I mean,
going to be a preacher and have some big church. You're going to go back to Bessemer, Alabama and build like the biggest church in the state of Alabama or something. And you know what's going to happen? I may attend that church because Jameis may convince me I need to drive back to Alabama and go to church with Jameis for a week. So, yeah, it's Jameis. That's my answer.
Why do you hate red?
All the red. It is always behind me in the show every week.
I was just fucking with you. Jamie, we got Sam Darnold, Jameis.
Well, I love this. I love this congregation talk about Jameis because, he'd say, hey, I tell you what, guys, even though you might be feeling the faith, you need a little more Jesus in your life this Sunday. J-Bo has a way of drawing you in, and you love that about him.
He
draws you in with his Alabama roots. But I got to go with I love the guy, but I'm going to go with who's playing at a high level and has shown me that for the entire season, all but one game this year. Sam's competed with anybody he's gone up against toe-to-toe. He went up against the Niners, so-called great defense, and took the Niners out pretty easily in that game. So he proved to me in that game right there he's ready for bigger moments because up until then, the competition wasn't that good. Niners come into town, and they just cream them. So I love what I've seen for him over the first 7-8 games of the season. So he's showing me what I want to see from my backup in the first half of the season. And what I like about it is he's such an even-keel guy. He knows the spotlight's not on him. He knows nobody's interested in talking to him. He don't give a shit. Go talk to Judas. Go talk to whoever you want. Like I don't need any attention over here, guy. I'm just here to help this team win ball games. That's the kind of guy you need on a team that has big personalities because Jameis is the biggest personality wherever he goes. But I kind of like that cool, calm, collective QB vibe that Sam has going. And let's see what the Vikings can do in the second half because we know what normally happens or has been happening in Minnesota. Second half
just
collapse.
When they're creaming on the 49ers, they're goddamn creaming. I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything past that.
Yep.
I said creaming or steaming?
Yeah, you said creaming on.
Does it really matter? Does it matter?
It works.
Whatever.
One side or the other. That's for you, Paul Weaver. That's for you.
Tell you what, hopefully Jameis never talks about creaming after hanging out with Deshaun for so long.
Oh,
geez. So I'm going to make my pick now.
Hold on, Mike. Did you see the memes or the gifs that are coming out? It's like when Deshaun Watson run into fucking therapy after they show Forrest Gump running out of his house.
Oh, shit.
Right into therapy naked. This is a closed session, Deshaun. Okay, Mike, go ahead.
So I think at this point you can win games with both of them. I'm going to go with I'm going to err on the side of Sam Darnold because kind of to John's point in the sense of like we haven't seen as much of him this season. And we've seen in the past that Jameis has this tendency at times to get a little too fired up and he starts to force things and then we get the 30-30 season. So I think with the idea of if I'm trying to make a playoff push right now, I'm going to take Sam Darnold, who I trust more to not force things and not make as many potential mistakes in an effort to make the big play, as opposed to Jameis, who can make the big play and like said, Trey, when he gets hot, like there's really doesn't seem to be a defense that can stop him, but it's just, can we get him there all the time? I guess is the question. Is that the Jameis we can get more consistently than he's shown he can be in the past?
But that's why I trust Jameis more, because A, chances make champions. B, if you look at Sam Darnold's entire career, the most touchdowns he's had in a single season is 19. I know he's at 14 right now, but the guy has never even had 20 touchdown season before. Everybody jokes about Jameis throwing 30 interceptions, but a lot of motherfuckers, including Sam Darnold, have never even thrown 30 touchdowns, which Jameis has. I mean, Sam Darnold's also had a 15 interception season, a 13 interception season, 11. So I mean, Sam Darnold had a 17 and 15. And a 9 and 11, so he's at seasons where he's had more interceptions than touchdowns. So at that point, I'll take my chances and say, either way, we're not going to say either one of these guys are great. They both were supposed to be the guy when they got drafted. So I mean, kudos to both of them for figuring out how to stay in the league long enough and being able to turn this around. But I guess for me, it's like, hey, if I'm at that point where I'm the Vikings and I lose my number one pick, or if I'm the Browns and I lose my, I guess, franchise quarterback, then yeah, I guess I might as well take a risk, take the risky guy, just throw it all in.
So just some numbers, on this. Jameis on Sunday against one of the probably perennial favorites to win the AFC, 27, 41, 334, and 3 touchdowns. That is the most passing yards all year. Mind you, Deshaun Watson was leading the team, and he had his highest one was 196 yards. And that was against your Giants, Mike. So,
surprise.
Safe to say, same receiving core, same everything.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
it may spark that. I mean, like you have.
Remember, he had Cooper.
He had Amari Cooper.
No, he had Amari Cooper, not the same receiver core. He actually lost the number one receiver. So Jameis actually played with a lesser.
They traded him to Buffalo.
But Jameis has Chubb, who is a much better running back. So it does.
I mean, they got some tough games coming up. New Orleans, Chargers, Pittsburgh, a rivalry game on Prime on Thursday. They have Denver, then Pittsburgh again in 2 times in 3 weeks. And then Kansas City, Bengals, Dolphins, Baltimore to finish the season. So
that's rough.
That's rough. That's a rough schedule to finish the season for him. So hopefully, let's see what it comes of it. I mean, if they come out and shock those Chargers, all right, I might be on that train because, I mean, he looked good. He looked like what he was supposed to be coming out of college, right?
Yeah. So it's election season. You know who I'm electing? Trent Jordan Watt. Yes, that's TJ Watt. That needs to be the MVP of the league. I didn't say defensive player of the year. I said the fucking MVP of the league. See, the thing is, they never like to give it to defenders, and that's fine. But the quarterbacks, we have a lot of guys that are down right now. Mahomes, yes, he's still a great quarterback. I still will always call him Patrick Michael Jordan Mahomes. I expect him to keep doing his thing, but this hasn't been his year. CJ Stroud, a lot of people had him with the high expectations. Have they played good? Yes, but the stats, they aren't reading quite MVP-ish. Lamar, okay, maybe you got a shot, but you know what's going to happen? The Steelers are going to go out there. They're going to play the Ravens. They're going to beat the Ravens. What's going to happen is TJ is going to make a couple big plays. But when you look at the Steelers, you take TJ out of that defense, and it changes everything. We've seen this year after year, and he's deserved more Defensive Player of the Year awards. But why can't he be the MVP? Why is he not the most important player to that team? That team is streaking. They're doing good. And with his defense and his leadership, they are going 5-2 right now. Switched multiple quarterbacks. A lot of people will say it's a weak receiving corps, but you know you can't call weak that damn defense. So I don't give a damn if that's a quarterback award. But like I said, please elect TJ Watt for president, senator.
As we keep it rolling, we have a little game called We have a game called Election/Vote Game. And I'll throw it over to Trey Day since this is his game. He wants to play today. So Trey Day, go ahead.
So pretty much, of course, you all know this is election time. Now, we're not going to go in here. We're not going to tell you who to vote for or anything like that. But there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of things to go in sports. And we feel like, why can't we nominate stuff? Why can't we tell you what you need to vote for to change, what to elect, who to elect, what to change in sports? So what we're going to play is a little game we like to call elect or vote, whatever you want to call it. Elect or vote. That's what we're going to call this. I think, let's see, who always has good ideas? Let's go with Mike. Mike is always it's always a lot on his mind. So let's see what's on Mike's mind.
That's true. So there was a few things that I went to. Initially my mind went to like expansion teams But we've talked about like moving teams to Montreal for the Expos or Quebec for the Nordiques, or I'm sorry, Jamie, Seattle. So I wanted to kind of freshen things up a little bit, and it took me back to a conversation that John and I had. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I would like to nominate for the sports world, including you three fine gentlemen, to vote on allowing international baseball players, that is, baseball players that have never played in the MLB, to be elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame, because that is the technical name of the museum.
Yeah. Okay. So are we voting on this right now, or are we waiting?
All those in favor say yay.
All those in favor say aye.
I think what we have to think, there's a disparity with this, right? So this is the National Baseball Hall of Fame. National, right? Are we going to change the name to Baseball Hall of Fame, just like the basketball Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame? I don't think it's the NFL. Is it the NFL Hall of Fame? I'm not sure. Or it's Hockey Hall of Fame.
It's the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and then it's the Hockey Hall of Fame.
They got the Hockey Hall of Fame, right? This is the national, so it's just going on national. And what Mike and I were arguing about is like he kept saying that someone from the Negro Leagues was the most home run hitter, and he kept saying, should he be in? I'm like, if it becomes the Baseball Hall of Fame, then yes, but it's not the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's the National Baseball Hall of Fame. So it's just the MLB one. So I guess the first thing would be, do we change that?
Because well, yeah, I'm sure that would be involved.
You can't let in baseball without changing that too.
Yeah, I suppose that would also be involved in the vote, as it would come with a change, taking the national off of it and making it the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I vote for it.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I vote for it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
too.
because I mean, especially when you look at, like we said, the Negro Leagues and things like that. It wasn't these guys weren't talented. They literally were not allowed to play like the game with them. So I glad that they actually started to do that. But then when you start to look at the national or international baseball, more than any sport, I mean, basketball starting to become that, is the international game. I mean, look at all these teams. Is there any team that isn't holding at least 30% international players on these rosters? I mean, so for me, yeah, I would say that's what we're already trending towards. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and if you're going to honor them with a game at one of their fields every single time, you put them in. They should be in, right? If you're going to honor them that way, they should be in the Hall of Fame at least, right? Get a vote, get some sort of vote. So I agree. I like that. Yeah, I'm going to vote for that, because I think if you're playing professional baseball, you're at the highest level, you should be in. Like Hideki Matsui should be in. His stats in Japan were just as good, and he won a World Series MVP. I mean, Ichiro is an outlier, is a unicorn, but who do you want next, Trey?
John, what you got?
So I'm staying in the baseball world, and I nominate to allow an error if a runner scores on an error, that you give the RBI to the player. Because why is it on the player that hit the ball fault if the guy fumbles the ball, right? So I say that it's not counted as an RBI, and it should be counted as an RBI. So I think that should be called a ribby, just because it's not his fault. He bobbled it, right? He did his job. He hit the ball, and the guy scored because of his hit. Not his fault that the guy can't bobble the ball, or he can't throw the ball to first, or catch a routine fly ball. That's not on him, right? So it should count as a RBI. Do you agree with? Do you vote for that?
Yeah, I'll vote for it.
I'm curious of Mr. Baseball, Mike. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, I'll vote for that, because I think it's fair. I think it's fair I think it's equally fair that the batter gets a RBI as it is that the pitcher does not. It's not an earned run, because it's not the pitcher's fault that it happened. So if it's not the pitcher's fault that it happened, and they don't get an earned run, and so their ERA doesn't change because of it, then why can't the hitter, whose fault it also isn't that this play happened, why should they not get credit for the fact that they created a situation, whether error or not, that allowed a run to score? So therefore, they should get a run batted in.
Yeah, that's the common sense. The run was batted in, despite the error that may have caused you not to make a play at home plate or whatever we're trying to create a force out wherever on the field.
Right.
You put back the ball in. So.
Yeah, I'm for it. I mean, because at the end of the day, technically every run is a mistake. You shouldn't have threw the ball over the middle of the plate like that. That was a mistake. So, yeah, they did their job. They hit the ball. Hey, it's not their fault if you dropped it or if it went through your legs or you bobbled trying to throw the first. That is on, and they got the ball in the play. So, yeah, I'm okay with that.
No, so for 4-4 again. So Grandpa Jay, why don't you? Oh, sorry, Trey. This is your segment. Go ahead.
No. Jay can go.
Okay.
All right, guys. So everybody wants points. I would like to nominate that we have a 5-point circle on the basketball court for both college and NBA. You're only allowed to attempt one per half in college and one per quarter in the NBA, or else we're going to see a bunch of idiots chucking up 45-foot shots all game long. So you have to be strategic about it. You can only use it once per quarter. It's a big circle, so you have to be in that circle for the 5-point play to count. Do you guys agree, and will you vote for my 5-point circle?
Nope. We need to stay with our threes. Not going for it. Because once you give somebody an inch, they're going to take a foot. It's going to start off with it just being a temporary thing. Then it's going to become the thing. Like, that's how this goes. Eventually, it'll be 5 3 or 5 5-pointers per game. Then it's going to be just a fucking thing that just happens. So, no, I if we were going to do anything, I would expand the court so the corner 3 is the same distance as top of the key 3. That I do think we should do if you want to make threes harder. But no, we don't. These kids are just out here passing open layups to shoot threes. I'm not encouraging that fuckery.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not for that. I mean, that just it's going to cause so much hecticness. I mean, unless you put it into like a kind of like how they do in the TBD tournament where they have like the Elam ending or something like that, where if you hit a 5-point shot, it ends a game type thing. But that even is questionable too, because a lot of these guys can shoot from that range. I don't know. I don't like that idea, so I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, sorry, Jay. I can't vote for that either because it would just create chaos, and then you'd start slowly getting rosters that are completely comprised of long distance shooters because that's the most valuable part of the game. Because I agree with Trey, like eventually it would become you can do more and more and more, and then it's just a normal shot. And so I feel like then we might as well just televise 3-point contests between these two teams. Because that's essentially what it becomes.
What we're doing right now. It's already happening right now.
I know, but you think you're not going to have anybody play on the floor that's going to drive the paint because you can get more points on the outside.
I was only going to make it worse.
Right. Well, that's the point. It's going to make it worse. You won't have anybody do it.
I'm telling you, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you, like they're already doing it right now. So, like, can't imagine putting a 5-point shot in there and then all of a sudden that's all they're going to do. I mean, especially Steph Curry. Steph Curry ain't never going to leave that circle. He's just going to sit there.
No, oh my God, no. He's just going to sit there.
Just put it launch here.
One shot per quarter. Of course, he has to leave it. He has
one shot per quarter. But, I mean, still.
But it'll eventually change.
They're never going to just let that. If they start liking it, then they're just going to do that, and then we got 200 to 200.
It's like the NFL. Like, they're going to make something. So, no, Jay. What do you got, Jay? You want it?
Yeah, why are you a proponent of that?
Why? Because I want to see an NCAA tournament game where a team hits 2 free throws and it's supposed to be over because they won it by 5, but not so fast because here comes the point guard, Tyus Edney style from back in the day, but it's not a run-in layup. It's a 5-point shot and everybody in the arena is watching it from 45. And can you imagine the commentary when that thing goes in? Oh my God, we're going to overtime. It would be
okay. And if he gets fouled,
by 5, like by 1.
No, that shit won't count. You can't get fouled in the 5 to get 5.
So,
did I just foul you? So you're about to take the 5-point shot. I'm never gonna let you.
No,
I'll just body check you, especially if it's a national championship game.
That would work in the other team's favor because ain't nobody making 5 freaking free throws in a row other than freaking Steph Curry. So
yeah, that's what.
All right, Senor Tride, what do you got for us? What are we voting
on? Okay, I think we're all actually gonna agree with this, but we'll see. The college football. Targeting. I'm so fucking sick of targeting. To me, I've never liked the fact that you get ejected off of one targeting. I would say if the new rule would be If you do it twice in the game, okay, now we're starting to say this player is egregious. Now we kick him out the game. But I also, even if you did eject it, I would not do a rollover to the next game. At that point, that game ended. Hey, he missed the rest of the game. Sorry. Unfortunately, there. I don't like that whole rollover thing. The other thing, too, is a lot of these guys, they're trying to go pro. Like, to take a half of a maybe important game for them because they try to do their job is just ridiculous. I will never forgive the referee for kicking Joey Bosa out in his last college football game against Notre Dame because of a targeting penalty in the first half. The guy was one of the best, but we won that game, by the way, Mike.
I know, it's okay, though.
But I'm never going to forgive them for ending Joey Bosa's career on a goddamn targeting penalty. Like, to me, I just don't like that. So I would say, as I said, 2 targetings, okay, you're ejected for that game. No rollovers, just make it a 15-yard penalty. That would be my rule that I've elected.
I feel there would be too many like stipulations as like, okay, but what if he was too egregious, or what if he had hands to the face that caused, the quarterback or whoever to be out for the game themselves. So is it fair that you lost, like you took that player out, so you lose, you lose one of your best defenders? So I mean, there'd be so many.
Is it fair to more slides and then
does he really need to if the first one was horrible, right? So I feel like the whole point of it is to try and protect the player, but you're right. The thing is that they're not thinking about the other player that was really trying to do his job, and it was a bang bang play, and you're telling that this player that he meant to do it when it was more like circumstances of how that player fell into him. And so yeah, I mean it's a mess. It's been a mess. We know the point, what you're trying to do. I would say get rid of the damn thing, and then really just make it upon the school where these guys are going to get paid just like the NFL. Find them. Like, if you keep doing it, you're going to lose your NIL money. So like these guys are not going to have that much money to play with, where it's like, well, I can't afford to lose 10 grand. That's a huge chunk of my change. So they'll reconsider.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the same thing. And targeting is a stupid ass rule. And I've always been for it, because there is only a small percentage where you're lunging with your head, right? And it's a natural motion that when you're going down to shoulder, what they don't understand, and a lot of people that make up these rules probably never played this game ever. Because when you're going down and you're going to shoulder check, that's just a natural instinct for you to do this. It's just a natural instinct. So when you target, it's a lot of the times it's not targeting. It's just basically you're just protecting at that point, and you're trying to use your shoulder, and it's so close. And then they slow it down to slow mo, and it's like everything looks bad on slow mo, right? But you got to think about these guys' speed. They're getting faster and stronger and everything like that. Like Saquon this past weekend got fined $45,000 for his hit on the Browns for lowering his head. He clearly lowered his head. You can see that. I think it should be replayable. Trey, is your vote saying that if you should allow 2 targetings and then ejection? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, I would say 2 targetings and then the ejection.
I think that's fair, because a lot of times you don't, and I think it's a case by case, right? You have to, you're given a warning, right? The first one is like, okay, it's an ejection, but then if it's like a personal foul in the NFL, you give a warning, okay, hey, you didn't mean to do that, but hey, the second time you're gone, type of thing. So
yeah, now okay, this guy is starting to do this on purpose. I mean, how many times, like Vontaze Burfict? Okay, one time's a mistake. I see exactly 3 times a game, and that's the crazy part too.
Case by case, Vontaze Burfict was
3 Ds a game and get to keep playing, but we got to kick the college kids out for it. So I never really jigged with that. Mike, what you got on it?
Yeah, so I mean, I think there does need to be an adjustment to it. It is, the problem is that you're dealing with a judgment call on these officials as to what is egregious, what's not, what was on purpose, what isn't, like things like that. So it is tough to kind of dole out the punishments fairly, no matter what you do, because it is such a judgment call. If I would probably vote for it, although on the floor of the vote, I would also bring up an alternative for those that maybe weren't on board with it, in that we tier suspensions. So what if we tiered ejections in this case, in the sense that first time you're out for the rest of that half. Second time you're out for the game, no matter when it is.
No, I don't like that. I'm sorry, I don't like that, because it's like, you're still punishing the kid. Like, and you got to look at case by case too. Like, You're trying to appease. First time is a warning. It's already 15 yards, right? That's the punishment.
There's already a killer penalty.
It's already a killer on these teams. Like if you make a big play and you get called for targeting, but it's not like you're lowering your head. You're just basically like it's just a bang bang play. You're gonna suspend a guy for first half. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, no.
So, when you look at that and the 15 yards is already a penalty. The second time is gonna be is already basically an ejection. So I wouldn't do that.
Well, the concern though is that you get particular players like potentially a Vontaze Burfict that go, well, I can have one. We can eat a 15-yard penalty.
One, it's a case-by-case basis, right? You set the rules, but like you can eject the person if they're being malicious, right? Like they're going in like that hit on Antonio Brown. He got ejected. That's a referee.
It's a different.
That's
I get what John's saying, and which is true is remember targeting right now means you're automatically ejected. That doesn't mean I can't reserve the right to eject somebody because at any point you can eject a player during any football game if they do something egregious. You go 2 out, I can just eject 2-1, but right now it leaves you no wiggle room because all these targets are equal. So it at least gives us wiggle room to move. If somebody's just that flagrant, then yeah, you can do it at the 1, but it's not required to do it at the 1.
And if that 1 comes in fourth quarter, 5 minutes left in the game, and it's a crunch time game, you're gone for the half. And it's like shit. Now I just lost my best defensive player for the rest of the game, and then okay. I would have rather taken the 15 yards at that point. You know what I'm saying?
So, I get you. I definitely get.
You can't appease everybody, but that right. Type of thing is just that'll end up in misery. It'll get changed anyways. So I'm voting for yes, just because I don't like targeting. Obviously I'm from the old school days, but what do you guys got?
I'm with Mike. You are yes with an amendment to the rule.
All right, Mike.
Go ahead, was my. So yeah,
yes, yes with an amendment to to the rule, okay. But yes, I think there does need to be a change,
some movement. This rule, regardless.
Well, as we continue in the college football ranks, because targeting seems to be called a lot more there, with Coach of the Year, right? Apparently, it's not an award, which is weird because it should be.
I thought it was. I thought it was the Bear Bryant Award.
I thought it was too.
Is it officially award? I mean, it never gets talked about, I guess. So I guess maybe that's why it feels like it's not.
I guess if we had a mid-season Coach of the Year award, let's do that. If we had a mid-season Coach of the Year award. I guess who would you guys give it to? Who deserves it? Who's got the opportunity to be like, damn, you really stepped up? Mike?
It's easy. This is an easy answer. It's Curt Cignetti from Indiana. Yeah. This is 100% not a team that was supposed to be anywhere nearly this good. I mean, yes, you've got great coaches around the country with great teams and things like that, but they also had they came in with expectations of a great team. This is Indiana football. Like I've met people from Indiana in Florida that are like, yeah, no, we're not. We never thought we're supposed to be this good for football. Like this is amazing, and then they go off and stuff like that. So I think it's clearly at this point Curt Cignetti.
I wouldn't say that just because their first 3 games were FIU, last in that college football, Western Illinois, second last in that college football, and UCLA, who's a shell of themselves, and then Charlotte. So they're 4-0 off 4 teams that are not very good. But I mean, I get you. Like his hype, his whole demeanor is basically really, really hyped and giving him an opportunity. But I'm gonna stay home with my Syracuse Orange, baby. Let's go, Fran Brown. Let's go. He's got that program rolling. Unfortunately, Kyle McCord had a very bad game last game, and that's an outlier for this season because he's looked completely different from last year. That game was an outlier against a really good Pitt team who may make the playoff here towards the end of the year. May face Miami in the ACC championship, so we may see that. So I'm going to say Fran Brown just because of the mentality. I don't think you guys really understand how bad Syracuse football was in. I mean, we went through 5 head coaches and going to the Carrier Dome and seeing the crowd, and it's just like every year it's like, oh, well, how many wins are we going to get this year? That was the mentality when you go to the games. And now it's, hey, we can make the playoff. Or, hey, we can win the ACC this year. It's a mentality that he brings in, and he brings in that right? Kyle McCord, I think he had a bad game. I'm not denying that. He had a terrible game. 5 picks, 3 were tips, so my thoughts on that. But realistically, Fran Brown has rejoiced the community, rejoiced Syracuse football. Another basketball school, quote unquote, is now being talked about in the football ranks, which is great. They're 5-2. They got Virginia Tech this weekend. I'm really hyped for them. I hope that they, finish the season strong. Who knows what happens towards the end of the year? They got to play Miami. They could play spoiler to Miami. Who knows at this point? So I'm excited for Syracuse football. It's back on the map. People are worried about them, except Pittsburgh, because they have 5 interceptions and 3 pick sixes. So Fran Brown is my halfway coach of the year. Trey, Ryan Day.
I can't. I absolutely cannot give it to Syracuse after that poor performance on national TV on a Thursday night. I agree with Mike. It's okay. Kurt Signetti has not had a bad game.
He hasn't played anybody.
Has not had a bad game this year, and everything you just said about Syracuse and the state of that, it's the same thing applies to Indiana. As a basketball student, nobody gives a fuck about their football program, and for once the football program looks actually like it might be reputable as far as being an actual program. So I would say you gotta give it to him right now. He's undefeated. He's got that, and he just got there. Also got the program balling out. And the truth is, it's been his genes. His father's in the College Football Hall of Fame as a coach. His brother's offensive coordinator. I forgot what school he's at, but this is what they do. They're winners there. And what he has done is he has completely flipped that upside down program right side up, and like that. Remember, the same guy, he just did this at James Madison last year. That was a lot of everybody's darlings on the show with James Madison. Turned him around, does it again. Gotta give that man some credit for what he's doing. I mean, unfortunately, he'll get his first loss against Ohio State in a couple weeks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not throwing shade on him. I think what he's done with that program, and I love seeing schools that have been down in the dumps, because all the moves in NCAA have all been football moves. So why not have programs that are good in basketball be good in football too? It's only better for the sport and better for the league, right? So let's have that, right? So I think that's a great idea. I just I love what Fran Brown's done to the community. I think from here on out, Syracuse is definitely going to have that mentality going into it. So, Grandpa Jay, what do you got down there? Kentucky.
I'm so shocked in Trey, who jumped on top the bandwagon to start the year. Nobody's seat was hotter than Mario Cristobal's seat, and this man has his team in contention to go another ACC undefeated team back-to-back years. I am shocked you didn't go that way. I'm going to tell you where I'm going, boy.
It was my consideration. That was my runner-up.
I am shocked you didn't go that way. You're all about the year.
Because I expected that one. I had no expectation for Indiana. I think it's
right. All right, I'm going out to Idaho, and let me tell you why I'm going out to Idaho, okay? Because Andy Avalos was starting to make a mess of Boise State's program, who under Brian Harsin, we know, didn't lose. They lost like 2 games a year, right? We know Boise doesn't have a tough schedule, but it doesn't matter, all right? They compete, and they schedule great teams. Those tend to be losses. You know what Boise State did this year? They went to Eugene, and they had Oregon on the friggin' ropes. In fact, they had Oregon on the ropes so much, it took a miracle defensive play on a walk-off field goal to beat Boise State in Eugene this year, and that is the number 1 team in the country. He has those boys cooking at 6-1, and I just want to give that coaching staff an in for landing Ashton Genty, who's a Jacksonville, Florida native, who Florida State was heavily recruiting, and somehow they stole this kid who might be the best player in the country and brought his ass to the big blue field in Boise State. So give me some Spencer Danielson love, because I think he is the coach of the year right now. And he took over the team last year when they were 5-5, made them bowl eligible by winning the last 3 games of the year. People thought, oh, well, maybe the schedule was cookie cutter, 3 easy games, lose the Las Vegas Bowl. Well, guess what? The guy's freaking 6-1 right now, and he almost had a damn win in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, I think, the ultimate, if this was an actual award where we would give it out, it would be Mario Cristobal, just because of the turnaround. And like you said, Trey, the expectation was there at the U. And he needed this. This is his hometown kid. Like, he went to Christopher Columbus. Yeah. He graduated. He went to the U. Yeah, he went to the U.
Yeah, he went to the U.
This is all matter. Get them boys rolling. Now he's got them rolling. So I think he would get it ultimately. But, yeah, I mean, I did not see that. Jamie, I'm sorry.
We're going to Idaho. What?
You said Boise State, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's at Boise State.
Oh, okay.
The Boise State.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Yeah,
talking
No.
about Idaho University.
Yeah,
No.
no, I thought that's where he was going. I was like, I don't even know who the coach
I had
of
to
the
start
Idaho.
doing some research. I was like, Idaho, what the fuck?
I don't even know who Idaho's coach is.
Right. So that is our coaches of the year halfway point. And here's an interesting question, right? So with all the money moving around and everything, what we talk about coaches, if you were a booster, what would be because of the NIL money, like Trey Day says every single week, Tay is on the hot seat. What is your breaking point to call, for firing a coach?
When
if I'm a booster, right?
They quit
If
on
you're
each
a
other.
booster,
And this is it from a booster. Okay.
Booster's perspective, if like you're giving money to the school that is paying for players to come there and paying the coach or paying whatever it may be, what is your breaking point for? I mean, obviously, might be winning, but
When the team looks like they quit on each other, the coach no longer has a grip on that program, and that mofo needs to go. So if the product looks that bad, where kids are tweeting a whole bunch of shit about this team sucks and blah, 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 not only lost the locker room from the sense of these boys need to show more integrity and be men and stop being little boys whining, complaining if they don't like what they're seeing. But if the product on the field looks like they are quitting on each other, it's time to get that mofo out of town immediately. You don't even wait till the end of the season.
yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is it depends on the program. I think it just depends, right? When you look at a program like in Indiana and Syracuse and stuff that haven't had football success, and now we're starting to have football success more. Again, right? Indiana had it, Syracuse had it way back when. Now they're starting to have that again. I think it takes some time, but I think if you're a program, Trey, you know this more than I do. If you're a program like Ohio State, you're a Michigan, you're Alabama, you're Georgia, where you're expected to win a national championship every single year, win the SEC, win the Big Ten. If it's not done within the first 2 years, you're gone, in my opinion. If you can't get these, and it's not even recruiting anymore. We used to give these guys 5 years. Now it's, hey, you better get these guys in the door now because we got money we're spending on these players. We're spending $20 million on these players. You have the best talent. Why aren't you winning, right? That is the biggest thing. So when you look at schools like those, it's a now factor. Like, hey, you got 2 years. Like Sharon Moore has 1 more year, in my opinion, and then he's gone. Personally, I get his ass out now because I didn't think he was the right fit for the job.
I like him a lot. Leave Sharon alone.
Oh, leave me.
Enjoy. I've been enjoying it before.
Fucker.
Leave him alone. Let that man keep his job.
In his first season, he made a player retire. It's not even funny. I mean, like I can't deal right now.
Is it not funny?
Huh?
Is it not funny
that he made a player retire?
Well, I just meant the whole situation is Michigan. I'm sorry.
It's
just an Ohio State Michigan joke. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We beat little brother though. That's all that matters.
And it fought again as usual. Another fight.
It'll be very tough at the end of the year. I'm still holding hope that we'll knock off Ohio State at the end.
I hope you don't get embarrassed this weekend.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a tough one in Ann Arbor. So, but I think it's a breaking point, right? Like you have the money, you're spending the money now. It's not like I have to go sit in this person's living room anymore. It's somewhat like that, but it's also like, hey, let me go get. I'll give you, like there's a 5-star recruit coming out of Michigan right now that, hey, he wants money. He's literally said, whoever's going to pay me the most. That's where we're at now with college sports. Whoever's going to pay these players the most, and you got to do it. So it just depends on the school, I think. But if we're talking about big name schools, it's 1 to 2 years, and I'm calling it quits. Mikey, what do you got?
Yeah, so I think kind of summing up what you guys have said, like it's seeing the program stay stagnant. It's the lack of progression towards whatever your goals are, whether it's, okay, better recruiting classes or it's national championships. It's when it's clear signs that nothing is changing. Okay, new voice, because we're not here. Like you said, NIL is a thing now. Transfer portal is a thing now. We're spending a lot of money. We're putting a lot of resources into bringing in the best players from different schools. We have free agency. Like We in college football have free agency now. So if we're not spending the money in the right places or developing the right people, then we're not in the right position and you need to go. So it's really comes down to, for me, that simple of a thing.
But
no progress.
Why does Dabo still have his job then? Like, based on the premise of your argument.
And listen, if I was a Clemson booster, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
That's my point. If I was a Clemson booster, or at least if I had the power of to make that decision as a Clemson booster, he wouldn't have his job.
Personally, I think there's something in his contract that doesn't allow him to be fired.
That would not surprise me.
I think there's an extension in his contract where he can't be fired. I could be completely wrong on that, but I believe there is something in his contract.
It's like, I choose to walk, but you can't fire me, kind of thing.
Correct. Exactly.
Because he has that amenity
because
for bringing.
He won that national championship. He went there so many times, had the recruits.
That is great.
He was actually strategic with that. He signed that extension right in that Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson area.
Right,
and I think it ends in a couple of years, but I don't think they can fire him, really. He has to choose to walk. I heard that. Like I said, I could be completely wrong, but I believe I heard that maybe a few years ago that he literally can't be fired.
It's probably 100% buyout clause, too, if they do it, right? So, yeah.
They still owe all the money. So they're like, well, we might as well just ride this out.
Which no school will ever make that mistake again. But Trey Day, did you go?
No. As far, every program is different. So I mean, this depends on what program you're talking about. If you're a program that's constantly 6 or 7 and 6, and you keep going 7 and 6, okay, well, as a booster, I'm saying you got to go. If you're a program like an Ohio State, a Georgia, a Texas this year, where you're supposed to be championship or bust, you do this a couple years in a go, you got to go. Now I'm going to say this: as an Ohio State booster myself, Ryan Day, if this does not work out, we are going to clip you. We're not going to keep putting our money up here. You know, we're out here. Did I just reveal myself as a booster? Okay. Like I was saying, so me as an Ohio State booster, yes, I'm taking money out of my check right now, to make sure that Caleb Downs and these guys are getting paid. I'm not going to keep doing this if Ryan Day's going to do this. So we're going to start withdrawing our money. Me and the rest of these guys are. Me, Gus Johnson, Gus Johnson, a booster, Joe Klatt. We're going to start taking our money.
No, Joe Klatt's not a booster. He's a Michigan man, dude. Don't you do that. Don't you do that.
No, Joe Klatt.
Joe Klatt's Michigan man, bro. Don't be doing that about Joe.
Colorado. He went to Colorado, so Ohio State's second home. But in all seriousness, though, expectations of team, and with NIL, as all of you said, that makes the leash shorter. People are giving out real ass money to get some of these situations done, and if you're just like professional sports, if you don't get it done, you're gonna get clipped, because at this point, college sports is professional. So there's short leases on these type of things.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the school, all right? And we're looking at the entire country. I mean, now you're gonna have to tell schools like, hey, why not Boise State be a play? And I think what's gonna be huge, and this is a little sidebar, I think what's gonna be huge is if Boise State does get into the playoff, it'll be very big. And if I'm a small town school, I'm rooting for that, because what's that gonna do? That's going to finally allow a school like that, like UCF back in the day, like those type of schools to finally push through and get into the playoff and prove their point. Are you one of the best in the country? And if you get blown out, well, you weren't, right? So we don't know on this point. So when we look at when we keep moving on, let's keep it rolling, guys, because we got so much more to talk about here. So it is Halloween, and talking about scary boosters, let's talk about the scariest athletes to go up against. We all have that athlete that's like, God damn it, why are we playing him? So, Grandpa Jay, who is that athlete that you just gets under your skin?
Too many guys have got under my skin, but I kind of just went. I did a Mikey and started going through the 1800 files and made my way back up to modern times, and just hearing a couple quotes of players and what they thought about certain individuals. And we know when football was football, right? Like they like to say, one man by the name of Dick Butkus was a head hunter. And there was a running back from Green Bay that said, if I had a choice, I would sooner go one-on-one with a grizzly bear than go against Butkus, because I would pray I could get up every time he hit me. And Butkus was one of the first players that came out with the idea that I don't care if they said it or not. I'm going to channel my anger and make anything up to make myself angry so I can inflict pain on you. Fuck that shit. I don't want to be on the other side of the ball with someone with that mentality who makes a big ass running back say, I would rather wrestle a grizzly bear than go against this guy. Someone says that crap as a tough ass professional player back in those days. I don't want to be I don't even want to be on the sidelines. I don't want to even be so close that a mere sweat drop of his falls on me, because that sweat drop might feel like a waterfall, and then my ass is pinned on the turf like, God damn, what just happened? I don't want to be near Dick Butkus. Give me none of that. I'll watch the highlights from the comfort of my couch. Wouldn't even pay me to go to a game back in the day.
Mike?
Yeah, for me, a different sport. I mean, because combat is a different type of thing. I get when people say, you know, in football you got pads on, but I ain't jumping in the ring with Mike Tyson in his prime. That just ain't like that is, yeah. At the end of the day, that dude might knock your head off. I don't know what the number is to say get in the ring and go fight Mike Tyson in his prime, but it don't seem like it's worth it. If they say give me $5 million and my medical bill is going to be paid, did I get a chance to write my living will? Because my family may need to be taken care of when I get done with this. And I'm not just saying me. I'm talking about the other professional athletes that are actually jumping that ring with that dude. I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, but I mean, shout out to you, Jake Paul, because as Jake Logan, whichever Paul brothers probably going to get beat up in a couple weeks by Tyson. Jake. Yeah, I'm just not. Yeah, Jake Paul, I'm not getting in the ring with that dude. The thing about it, too, is I heard some people always had a theory of if I just get in there and they say I got to make it around Mike Tyson, I'll run. I truly believe if you run, he's going to start chasing you. If you get out the ring, that dude wants blood. He might chase you through the fucking arena until he catches you and then gets to beat your ass. If you make, because he just, it's like when you watch the Run of the Bulls and you see red, that dude sees a guy in the other corner and he sees red. And I'm not going to be that guy.
Yo, why does Jake Paul look like King Hippo from Mike Tyson's Punch Out right now?
I think that's the look he's going for.
He's going for King Hippo.
He has to gain weight in order to legally fight him.
Yes.
He has to be a heavyweight, and he's not.
Yeah. He's like,
I don't know if that's the stipulations in that fight, or they can. But if they want to make
even if it's an exhibition fight, because they've had exhibition fights with guys in different weight classes.
I would assume that you have to be a heavyweight, but I think he wants to fight him at a heavier weight, so that maybe he absorbs the punches more. But I don't know if this is going to be. I truly think this is going to be staged, but I don't know if Mike. He can be staged all the way up through.
Right.
But
that's the question.
If Jake catches him in the mouth, I don't know mentally up here.
Yeah.
Does it click? Does a lot of turn red, and then he's basically just. I don't think he understands that this guy bit a dude's ear off, and that's not even the worst thing that he did to someone. Twice. He did. That's not even the worst thing he did.
Yeah.
Like, he would hit guys in the back of the head after the bell. This dude is a maniac when he gets in the ring. So I don't really think that Jake Paul thought this through, as they never do. But I agree with you, Trey. That's a no, thank you. And I think I took a different route than this when it comes to scariest athletes. I think I was talking about Wayne Gretzky in his prime. I mean, the dude was just unreal. I mean, he was just. You would think you'd have him, and then all of a sudden it'd be like the puck's in the back of the net. It's like, what the hell? Like, how did this happen? And it's just like, it's not scary. It's just more or less a frustration scary, right? It's like, God damn it, we gotta go up against him again. Like, he's just gonna have 5 goals this game. So I think my scariest, the guy I wouldn't want to go up against if I was a player would be Wayne Gretzky, just because the dude just made the hockey look so freaking good. Like, he slowed the game down. Like, I felt like the players were going in slow-mo, and they're like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why am I going in slow? So, wasn't the fastest, wasn't everything, but he just moved the puck that well. But I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to take football, I ain't going up against LT. If I'm a fullback, I ain't meeting LT in the trenches. I don't care what you say. I'm not.
Especially if we got to hit it at his stuff before he got out there.
Who do you think his mentor was? Dick?
Buckets. I ain't going up against LT. That dude was a monster. I mean, he would just. I'm good. I'm different. Right. He made 300-pound linemen look like they were like.
Well, you know, they actually said Reggie White was the guy who used to toss around 300-pound men like toothpicks. Like, he was much more of the enforcer to toss people. LT, he was too fast. Like, they didn't even have, like, he was a blur.
Yeah, and it was.
Well, look at Deacon Jones. He just
slapped people in the helmet. Like, that's just bang. Yeah. It'd be like concussion 6 weeks out. It's like, what the hell, you know? So I would never want to go up against LT. See, Mike, we're not shitting on your Giants.
I appreciate it.
We're
Yeah, okay.
90s.
You got to go back to the 80s and 90s to find someone that's good. I understand, but it is what it is. Let us not forget that LT also unintentionally intimidated people by breaking a man's leg.
Yeah. After taking in copious amounts of cocaine at halftime.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said.
Always.
He's on that stuff.
He's on that stuff. He's on that special
gets
stuff.
the job done.
Yeah.
The coaches were just like this. Bill Parcells was like, "All right, go ahead."
Is that an apple?
I didn't see nothing.
Keep eating that apple, LT.
Hey, that's a nice powdered sugar you got for your coffee, right?
Yep.
All right, Mike. Who's the scariest person?
Well, first of all, I knew that Trey was going to say Mike Tyson, and yes, Mike Tyson's a shark. Yeah. When he tastes his own blood for the first time in that match, Jake Paul is screwed because I don't think Tyson can stop himself even if he wants to. The scariest, I went, first of all, if I was to pick someone on my own teams, it was going to be LT because, he's just an animal. He's just different. I thought about going football, which in that case, it was going to be Brian Dawkins because just watching him come out of the tunnel was terrifying with the like blackout visor but I'll take it baseball. I don't think there was any. Thank you, Jamie, because I don't think there would have been anything more intimidating than seeing a massive 6'10" left-hand pitcher that just slings the ball and essentially seems to just drop it over the plate, and there's nothing you can do about it. Randy Johnson would scare the shit out of me as a hitter. Like, oh, crowd the plate. You crowd the plate. He blew up a dove. He destroyed a bird.
Do it. Do the Randy.
Me?
No, Jamie.
Randy.
Yeah. Nah, forget that. I'm good. You can pinch hit for me.
And he was accurate.
Right. It's like it's not like he. But the thing is, the scarier Randy Johnson was the mid-90s Randy Johnson. He hadn't found his control yet. He's throwing 100 and you don't know where it's going.
Your nose.
He was, for anybody out there that's seen Major League, he was Ricky Vaughn. Like, you don't know where it's going, and that's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you want to go another pitcher right there, it's probably Roger Clemens. The reason
he's a psycho.
Had that control his entire career. The reason why he won 6 Cy Youngs. And if you beamed one of our players, he was going after you, and he said, "Hey, it's just part of the game."
I'll based on the conversations I've had with Mikey about the shit that they say Nolan used to throw.
Oh yeah,
like to me that was like consistent 103 and shit like that. You were saying, Mikey, that's freaking.
In his 40s too.
When he was an old man, he beat up Robin Ventura.
He beat up Robin Ventura.
Yeah, as an old man. In his 40s.
So, those are our scary Halloween stories of players we don't want to face.
Ooh.
I swear, if I see LT coming, I'm running with Mike Tyson and Dick Butkus.
You could outrun him right now.
I know you're not running from that Halloween candy, especially back in your prime when your ass used to be going trick-or-treating in your neighborhood. So tell me, which candy did you hope for the most?
Skittles. Skittles. That was definitely Skittles.
Okay, Marshawn.
Yeah, me and Marshawn. Yeah. Just don't go
I was a big. I wanted the full size bar though. I was always
of course
full size bar, but
of what? Snickers?
I didn't live in a rich neighborhood, so
you got little bite sized, little tiny gooey ones. Mikey, what about you?
I got handed one Skittle.
You got handed a Skittle?
A red Skittle.
You didn't even get the small like fun size packs of Skittles?
No, just a Skittle. The ladies would take the bag and they would give each person one Skittle. That's how poor our neighborhood was.
Okay.
That's hilarious. All right.
What's yours?
So, well, in general, it's Reese's anything. But if you're getting specific, it's specifically the Reese's pumpkins because those things are delicious.
Okay, well, mine was Starburst, not the yellow ones. So what I'll do is I put the yellow.
Those are the best ones.
I'll put the yellow ones back in my little bucket and tell everybody, "Hey, would you like some candy? I'll share with you."
Oh, okay, nice.
I'll take the red, yellow, orange ones. And the weird thing though is like if you eat too many of them, it used to leave this tiny sensation on the roof of your mouth that wouldn't go away. No matter what you ate, it just kept burning more and more. I was like, Jesus, they put acid inside these things, but you can't resist the flavor.
It's the dye.
Yep. All right, well, that's our Halloween Scariest Athletes. Let's get to our Cinco Picks of the week. Last week, I gotta start adding these up to see who won what and everything, but I think we went 5.
Exactly.
But this week we have 3 college games and 2 NFL. We'll have Ohio State playing at Penn State in the whiteout game at noon. And for everyone that's wondering why it's at noon, because if the World Series was going to go to Game 7, it would have been at 8. So that's the reason why. Oregon's coming to Ann Arbor for the first time in a while. Oregon versus Michigan. Pitt versus SMU. And then to the NFL ranks, we have Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers. Indianapolis Colts versus the Minnesota Vikings. Some great matchups. So we're going to go around the horn like we do every single week with myself. This week we'll go Trey Day, Mike, and then Jamie. So me, Trey Day, Mike, Jamie. So I'll make sure I get it right this week. So for the first game, we have the Ohio State Buckeyes versus Penn State. And I will take Ohio State 28, Penn State 10.
Ohio State 23, Penn State 20.
The Ohio State Buckeyes 28, Penn State 17.
Ohio State 20, Penn State 14.
Oregon versus Michigan. Michigan 20, Oregon 19.
Oregon 30, Michigan 14.
Wait, did I say Oregon 20 or Michigan 20?
You said Michigan.
We said Michigan would win.
Okay, good. Okay. I was like, because I read the Oregon, Michigan. I didn't know if I said Michigan.
The Michigan 20, Oregon 19.
Go ahead, Mike.
Michigan 17, Oregon 14.
Oregon 31, Michigan 10.
And then we'll have our last college game, and that's Pitt versus SMU, the only other ranked game of that day. It's really weak weekend. So Pitt will beat SMU 35-20. That defense is rolling right now.
I'm going to go Pitt 37, SMU 24.
Pitt 10, SMU 7.
Yeah, no, both these guys are putting up a ton of points. I think we're going to see tons of points in this game. So I'm taking SMU for the upset to give Pittsburgh their first loss of the year, 41-39 in triple overtime.
Oof.
And then we have the NFL. Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers. I have the Lions winning 28-25.
Lions 33, Packers 27.
Lions 40, Packers 20.
Lions 24, Packers 20.
And then our final game of the week would be the Indianapolis Colts versus the Minnesota Vikings. I have the Colts winning 28-14.
I have Colts 29, Vikings 23.
Colts 28, Vikings 21.
Colts 19, Vikings 27.
And those are our Cinco Picks of the week. Make sure you tune in. Lock them in for maybe your bets, whatever you're looking for. But see if we got them right. Fellas, you know what time it is. It is time for Stump the Squad.
Yeah, buddies, in true Halloween fashion this week. Boys and girls, ghouls and goblins alike, welcome to another edition of Stump the Squad, our favorite time and our favorite segment of the show. If you guys want to play along with us, here's how it works. Don't cheat, don't look at your phone, just look straight at this screen and see if you can outsmart us, the squad. You get it right, give yourself 2. You get it wrong, give yourself -2. If you score more than us, like us, subscribe, let us know we suck, and then we get to clap right back at you if you throw some trivia out there you can't answer. But for now, it's the 4 of us, and I'm ready for another dub this week. And Mikey, I want to see you put a smile on your face so you can try.
We need some energy boost from Mike.
At least, let's try to get a smile on that face
Mike,
by stumping the squad.
Mike,
Okay.
Mike.
So, one of the positive things that came out of this World Series is that Anthony Volpe became the 4th youngest player to ever hit a Grand Slam. Now, it would be an easy question, I think, based on who I am, to ask you who the youngest is. So, I took a little bit of a different spin on that. Who is the youngest player, period, to ever hit a Grand Slam in any game? Is it A, Vlad Guerrero Jr., B, Jose Reyes, C, Rougned Odor, or D, Kevin Bell?
I want to say Vladdy Daddy. We love the party, Junior, but
Older than so I think he had his when he was older than Volpe.
mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's Vladdy.
We'll see again.
Does Volpe's Grand Slam count as Grand Slam in general, or just is this?
Yeah, it counts as Grand Slam in general.
So is this in general or regular season?
This is in general.
So
Mikey, who is he?
Okay.
Rougned Odor.
Yes. Rougned Odor.
Who is B?
Jose Reyes.
Yeah, so your options are Vlad Guerrero Jr., Jose Reyes, Rougned Odor, or Kevin Bell.
Rougned Odor.
I'm going to go Kevin Bell.
Everybody locked in?
See.
Yep.
Okay. This week, I have successfully stumped John and Jamie. It is indeed Jose Reyes.
That was my second choice. God damn it, Trey.
Who's next, Michael?
All right. Well, of course, we got to go with the tradition. Cool them off. Trey, go ahead.
Okay. Let's take this to the diamond. You know, we love it there. Okay, so let's take it to the Dodgers here. Which of these Dodger greats had the least home runs in a Dodgers uniform? Mike Piazza, Justin Turner, Max Muncy, or Sean Green?
Who has had the most home runs in
I said least home runs
Yes,
in a Dodgers uniform for these four guys.
One more time.
Mike Piazza, Justin Turner, Max Muncy, Sean Green.
Mike Piazza.
How long was he on there for? Yeah, I'm going to say pizza.
Max Muncy.
I used to always call him Pizza too when I was a kid. I used to
Right.
Oh,
It was
like
easier.
Pizza at Dodger Stadium and get a Dodger going. Okay, so we have Mike Piazza from Mike and John, and we have Max Muncy from Jamie. Today, I have successfully stumped the squad. Justin Turner. I know it's
Really?
shocking. As long as that dude was there, that dude has the least of those four guys. Me, I think he had the most games.
I think he has a bunch of extra. He probably has a bunch of extra bases.
He was
right?
a triple machine, though.
He
Yeah.
has a lot of triples.
Yeah.
Triples, a lot of doubles.
For a bigger guy,
a lot of doubles, a lot of extra bases, but a lot to leave that park.
I just didn't think Piazza played there long enough.
I am cooked today.
In a couple crazy years, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with John.
All right, well, I'm going to stay on a Grand Slam train. So how many Grand Slams do the Yankees have in total in the World Series? Is it 9, 10, 11, or 13? In the World Series.
Right, specifically.
11.
10.
10.
Mike says 10. Mike says 10, and Jamie says
10. Yep. 2 10s and an 11.
Today I have successfully stumped
He sounds excited.
the squad.
Yeah.
It
13.
is 9 home runs. And they lead the entire MLB with that many. So 9 Grand Slams.
27 champions.
How many Mickey hit?
46 World Series.
Just the one?
Appearances. Yeah.
It's literally by 9 different guys. There's not
Oh, wow, nice.
more than one. So
Did Bernie hit one?
yes.
Yeah. Bernie, Tino, Mickey,
Yogi. So the scores read: me at -4. Mike had -2, so Mike has -4.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie has -6. He's eliminated, and Trey has 0. So it's down to if Trey has to get it wrong, and we have to get it right, Mike. So
Cool. All right.
So Mike and I have a discussion the other day about how many wins does it take to get into the playoffs. So since 2021, 10 wins has been a lock to make the NFL playoffs. How many teams have won 10 games and made the playoffs since 2021? Is it 26, 29, 33, or 34?
Say it again, please. The question.
How many teams have won 10 games and made the NFL playoffs since 10 or more games and made the NFL playoffs since 2021? 26, 29, 33, or 34?
29.
33.
26.
Good number.
26 for Mikey, 29 for John, 33 for Trey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gentlemen, I'll put a twist on this. We have a winner, and that is Trey, because the answer is 33. Trey,
Might be my.
That was
I mean, what a night.
terrible.
What a night. How fitting.
Terrible.
On DraftKings.
Hey, open that bottle up and drink another shot.
Start fucking drinking white Hennessy every
I'm gonna
episode.
twist on it and not have excitement. Let's try that. Have a good night. My name is That's awful.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Friday is the winner of 135. You bastard, you left me in the dust. So the score now reads Mikey with 4, Grandpa Jay with 3, Trey Day with 3, and me with deuce. So, god damn it, I gotta win at some point. Yankees lose, I lose. Michigan loses. God damn, my teams lose now. God damn it. Come on, Philly. Come on, birds. Where are you? There you are. Come on. Yo,
Yeah,
mighty Philly.
We ain't winning, so maybe we can win. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I know.
The one in the middle. The jersey in the middle can win.
The jersey.
I like that one. No, that always wins.
We're undefeated.
100%.
Yeah, so this weekend, everyone, we will be in Jacksonville. The game
Yes,
will be
sir.
there. Trey Day is flying in on the private Cinco jet, and we will be doing Florida Georgia.
I'll be at a parade
for
this
tailgate
weekend.
crashers. Make sure you guys are tuning into our socials at Cinco Squad Pod 05, and we will be interviewing people, going around, maybe having a beer or two, having a cigar or two, enjoying the tailgate. And who knows, maybe someone will be generous enough to say, hey, come on in the game with us, guys.
Things you will not see. You will not see us in short jeans. You will not see us in Georgia clothes. You will not see us wear anything Gator. And you definitely will not see us cheering for any of those teams. But we'll be coming to find the best tailgate.
So look out for that jersey in the corner with Mike, as we'll be walking around. We have some koozies to give away. We have some prizes to give away. And, yeah, we'll be there. Drinking, having a good time. And make sure you guys tune in. So, fellas, great episode. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. Any final thoughts going into the weekend?
Congrats,
Hockey
Trey.
season.
Congrats, Trey, on the
Appreciate
winner.
that.
Congrats, Trey.
That's
Appreciate
I know you're pretty excited. I know you wanted the Guardians to win. I know you did. I know you really did. But one of your
But
teams
if not,
the Yankees.
my second favorite team can win.
Second favorite team with the Yankees. So congratulations. Maybe we'll chip in and get you a button or something.
Baseball's done, but make sure you guys watch Orlando, Cleveland on Friday night. That might be a preview to a very competitive Eastern Conference series later on down the road. Again.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here. So we'll talk to you guys here later. Cinco Squad out. See you.